So 2 days ago, I was actually making a video review of the Osmo Pocket 3, the very hype camera that everyone likes. And you know what happened when I was filming B-roll for that video? The Osmo Pocket 3 broke. And I caught it on camera, like the little screen. I sent the camera to the service already to be serviced. But the little screen that was supposed to stay like this or like this, vertical or horizontal, it now stayed like this. And it moved, but it didn't. I have footage, you're probably gonna see it. So I was actually gonna make a positive review of the camera. I actually liked it. It was super handy and you can use it. I loved the microphone. The microphone is amazing. I'm actually gonna buy the microphone as a standalone. But the camera broke. I don't feel bad about it, but I don't care because I wanted to do the reviews so I can sell it. I wanted to sell it because I am whatever, personal reasons, not because it wasn't a good camera, but I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do with it because I wasn't really filming outside. I film in the studio. I film usually from above for my professional work. I film courses, so I don't if the problem with it is that it's such a wide angle that you have to be if you have an overhead rig, you have to be about this to film like a I don't know a regular painting or whatever you are doing from with an overhead. So the distance is super small, so you hit the camera. I didn't hit the camera, but anyway. So I didn't drop it at all. Well, I did drop it once. Yeah, I did drop it once. But the screen didn't do anything. So yeah, for the actually the gimbal should have been damaged because the gimbal was hit, not the screen. When I dropped the camera, it was on a tripod, and I knocked it down, and the tripod hit because if you know how tripod works, they have three legs, whatever, and if they hit, the screen cannot really hit because the end point of the camera is the gimbal. So yeah, you can understand. But do I suggest buying that camera? And is it a good camera? Yeah, it's a very good camera if you film outside, but for the studio, it's not really, well, if you can call this a studio, it's not really a good camera for the studio. It requires like a very short distance from the background because you cannot, if you cannot zoom, you cannot really put the camera very far and you in the middle of the room. So you have a bit more distance from the because you're gonna see the ceiling and the floor if you do that. So it's a bit not very good. You see the whole room, everything. So you have to do a lot of work to have a better studio. So it's not a very good camera for the studio. I filmed outside with it, actually vlogged a few times, but for that it's amazing, especially with the microphone. It's quite great. But no, for the studio, it's really not a good camera. And I saw a lot of reviews before, and some of them were saying like, "Oh, but the build quality it has so many moving parts, it's probably gonna break at some point." And I'm not saying my rationality. I'm remembering exactly what I said to myself is like I take very good care of my cameras. And I did. I only dropped it once. And yeah, it broke. It might be my fault because I dropped it, but uh, I don't think so because it broke a month and a half after I dropped it. Like, if it was my fault that I dropped it and then it broke, it should have broken the other day or in the week. I would have put more responsibility in my hands for the damage. It wasn't outside damage, it was inside damage. Like I imagine that that swivel screen has a little how do you say spring, and the spring got disconnected or broken. And yeah, it's fine. I got to use this camera once again, which I like much more than the other camera for studio work. It looks so much better because it has better color science, if that is what if if I know what I'm talking about. No, it just looks better when I film with it. Even though it's 8-bit, it's the ZVE10. When I film with it and I edit the footage, it just looks better than the other camera. The other camera looks a bit like a smartphone. So yeah, but for vlogging, this would not be very good, especially if you want to walk and talk. So yeah, studio work. I highly recommend this. The 8-bit, even though it's 8-bit, it's if you film in HLG, you can get away with the same amount of color grading as you can with the Pocket 3 that has 10-bit. I don't know why, but it's probably because of the sensors, so it has more leeway that way. Leeway that way. So yeah, I just got a faulty camera, a faulty version of the camera, or I had the bad luck that it broke on me. I didn't even use the screen that much. I was just holding it in the same position all the time, in the horizontal position all the time, because I didn't have a reason to swivel it. It was just sitting on my desk all the time because I was filming every day with it, 3, 5 times a day. I actually filmed with it, so in a bit of credibility over here. I think I filmed about, let's calculate that, 25 gigs times 100. That's 2,500 gigs. That's 2.5 terabytes. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. I don't know, but about 2 terabytes of footage with it. So yeah, that I used it quite a bit in the 2 months I got it. So do your own decisions over here, but would I buy it again? No, because I have this camera and I know it's better for what I do. But if I wanted to start a vlog where I walked and talked, I would use that camera and I would buy that camera again.